Yeah, the next thing we want to look into is the Gaussian elimination, which is also known as row reduction. So we use this Gaussian elimination method for system of what? Linear equations. And there are some key steps to be taken. The first one, which we'll be talking about one after the other, is what we call the augmented matrix. Augmented matrix. And two, another key point that is applicable in Gaussian is a row, and then the result of the row operation will give us what we call the form. So these are the key points to be noted when using Gaussian's elimination methods. So I'll quickly start with the what? With the augmented matrix. Okay, then after I'll go to the row operation and then we'll talk about the echelon form. Yeah, write the following system of linear equation in the matrix form. Then write the what? The augmented matrix. So let's take the matrix form. In matrix form, that'll be, this is how many variables you have there. We have x1, x2, x3. So it's going to be 3 by 3. Okay. So the unknown is 3. So it's going to be 3 by 3 matrix, a square matrix. Okay. So what we're going to do now for the x1, which will be the first column, what are the coefficients? The first one is what? 1. The second one is what? 2. The third one is what? 3. Then we go to x2. The coefficient there is what? It's 1 or so. The second one, that's 4. Yeah, the third one for x2, that's a 6. That's 6. And then x3, that's 2. Minus 3. Minus 5. Okay, and those variable x1, x2, x3, then equal to 9, 1, 0. Okay, so that's the matrix form. So the x1, they are the what? They are the vertical down, the first column, column 1. Okay, the x2, they are what? They are the second column. The x3 are the third column. Okay, so that's just that. So if you have 2 unknown, that will be 2 by 2. If you have 3 unknown, that will be 3 by 3 matrix. What is the meaning of 2 by 2? 2 by 2 mean 2 rows and 2 columns. 2 column. 3 by 3 mean 3 rows and what? And 3 columns. We are told to do the matrix form, which we have done. Then the next one is what? Augmented matrix. In augmented matrix, what we do is to combine this one, the coefficient of this is your A, this is A, this one is what? Is X, this X1, X2, X3. We use it, capital letter to represent that, equal to this equals this right hand side is the B. So in augmented matrix, we are only combining this one, the A and B together. So and that will be equal to what? That will be equal to, you write your matrix 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 6, 2, minus 3, minus 5. Then you put a line there, a slash there with your B, which is what? 9, 1, 0. So when you are writing your augmented matrix, this is your variable or your constant to be gotten will be what? Will not be there again. So that's your augmented matrix. And I want to quickly, we finished the question. I want to quickly digress so that we can start solving questions. Because I mentioned three key points for Gaussian elimination or row reduction. There are 3 things to note. We'll talk about what? The first one is what? Augmented matrix. That's the first step you have to do. Then the second part is a row operation It involves three key points. Row operation involve 3 key points. Okay. So what I mean by 3 key points is that the step taken in row operation as follows. First one is what? Is a row swapping. What does that mean? Rows are swapping, interchanging, interchanging, interchanging between what? Between rows. In that case, now you can move row 2 to row 1, and row 1 will come back to row 2. So in that case, now you have what? You have swapped the rows. Okay. You can also move your row 3. You can move it to row 1 and bring row 1 down to replace the position of row 3. In that case, now you have what? You have swapped the rows. The second thing is multiplying. Multiplying the rows by what? A non-zero constant. Maybe 1, 2, okay, maybe -2 or so. You multiply the rows by non-zero constants. Non-zero constant, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, depending on what you have on ground. And the third point is adding the rows. Adding rows, which means probably when you multiply the rows, maybe you have C row 2, then plus what? Row 1. That's just the example. So adding rows. So these are the things we are going to be looking at. These are the things we are going to be using for Gaussian's elimination method.